Hey everyone, can I just talk about something that's been on my mind the last few days? So recently, Anna Kasparian, host of the left liberal YouTube channel The Young Turks, went on the channel of longtime friends of this show, the Sitch and Adam podcast, and she had a lot of things to say. In this video, I just want to zoom in on one particular claim that Anna makes, and I'll play it now.
I think that protecting, marginalized communities, protecting the transgender community is important. However, when you move out of or move far away from making sure that they are not denied housing, making sure that they're not denied healthcare, when you move into like these more fringe areas of there was a story out of the UK this week, blows my mind. There was an LGBTQ group in the UK who suggested that instead of referring to vaginas as vaginas because it might be offensive to transgender men, one of the potential replacements or substitutes could be bonus hole.
That's right. Because the word vagina is now offensive to trans men, according to an LGBT organization in the UK, they recommend the word bonus hole as a replacement. And this, Kasparian thinks, is the kind of fringe, nonsense political position that makes normal people dislike the trans agenda. So while I freely admit that it's funny that when you go to the glossary of this organization, the very first word you see is bonus hole, what Kasparian's saying here just isn't true. Depending on how you read her claim here, what she says is either an outright fabrication or just very misleading. Nobody in the entire world is suggesting that some trans men finding the word vagina offensive should cause us to not use the word vagina. Nobody said that. Nobody's threatening you with it. No woman going to the doctor's office is going to hear the word bonus hole unprompted escape her doctor's lips. The actual story is a lot more boring. A UK organization called Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust partnered with an LGBT organization with the purpose of helping doctors communicate better with non-binary and trans male patients. As they write, using the correct language when referring to someone's gender identity is a simple and effective way to demonstrate support and recognition. If incorrect language is used without being corrected, it can cause someone to feel hurt or distressed. This may lead them to leave and to eventually seek support elsewhere. And later on, the page suggests that some patients may want to call their vaginas a bonus hole, and that their doctor should respect that, not continue to use words that make their patients uncomfortable. This is for good reason, I think. Trans masculine people often need cervix screenings, and some feel uncomfortable about that. They think it will be a dysphoric experience, think their gender identities will not be respected. It's good then for the health of the people living in the UK to respect what people want their genitals to be called, and there's really just very, very little cost to it. So why do I care about this story about Anna Kasparian? Well, first of all, that's wild, right? That this liberal leftish commentator sees and uncritically parrots talking points from Mumsnet forums and conservative rags. I think anyone watching this interview would rightly assume she's saying here that this org claims the word vagina is now somehow offensive or politically incorrect because of trans people, that we're trying to come up with less offensive replacements, and that is just very ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to say. What I'm more interested in, though, is the rationale of this event, the justifications that Anna used both in the interview and after it to share this quote-unquote story. When some people accused her of making things up, she tweeted, "I don't make things up, and my point is that this stuff really turns people off. It's not really controversial." And later on, she replied to someone with this: "The right turns these anecdotes to national stories because they know it will turn people off. My argument is to be a little more strategic/tactful to secure healthcare/housing for the trans community. That's my point." And I guess the only question I can ask here is how? How should people be more tactful or strategic? Anna, in this interview, talks about the normie women who are freaked out by this bonus hole thing, but I don't actually think this is any of their business. How people prefer to be treated by their doctors is simply not within the purview of random, unrelated cis women. So, what does she want people to do? If nothing bad is happening, if there is no outlandish position being described here, and if this has all been spun out of control control by anti-trans journalists writing misleading headlines, then what exactly is the strategic method here? Make sure you never do anything a conservative will want to make propaganda out of? I just don't think that's effective at all. Honestly, I don't even think it's possible. After all, conservatives just began a massive hate campaign and boycott when a trans woman was in a beer ad. Like, there was nothing to it at all. She just was in a beer ad. The story of Anna Kasparian and the bonus hole is a self-defeating and tragic one. A person distributing hateful propaganda and asking trans activists and organizations, why are you making me do this? Why do you look so bad? Why are you insisting on having this fringe position that I just made up? I want to be charitable here. I don't know much about the Young Turks, but I have seen Anna speak really persuasively and intelligently. I'm sure she believes most of what I believe, and I don't want to encourage people to dig their heels in. So I'll just say this. Anna, this doesn't make any sense. You are here buying into media narratives that hurt trans people, and your motivation in distributing those narratives to encourage people to use more strategic rhetoric simply does not add up. What's really not good optics, what's really not good strategy, is acting as an extremely popular and respected leftist commentator to lie about bonus holes. Anyway, that's my interpretation, that's my take. I don't know, man. I know this is like old news on the internet at this point, but I'm still on it. You know what I mean? I'm still thinking about the bonus holes. Okay, bye.